afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming down. Good to see a crowd. I'd like to introduce you to the wonderful Tina Arena.
I don't mind. He's fine. What a lovely turnout.
I know.
Didn't expect to see so many people. Hi. Is everyone well? Hello, sir. How are you? Nice to see you.
Did you have to have your arm twisted to do a book, or did you felt you was really ready and time to do it?
I think about everything that I do. I think it's important too. I don't want to be flippant when I make decisions, but it was time to write a book. It was time to set the story straight, so I thought I would do it before somebody else did it. so you know,
And
at least you know what story they're going to tell. At least you know.
The music industry isn't that different from almost any other industry. You need all those things to survive, don't you?
You do. You definitely need a thick skin to survive. You're constantly in the firing line. People are always judging. It's not an easy thing to support every day. So you have to develop some sort of a disconnection is probably a more appropriate word. Yeah.
You've been in the music game a long time, and we've all seen a lot of changes. No, you're in it because people love you doing it, Tina.
Well, thank God I still love it.
The world's changed in a lot of ways, and the music industry's changed almost completely in the last 10 to 12 years. And just the way we live our lives almost has changed. I think you refer to that on a couple of songs there, but it's just the way it is on the new album. It's one where you're looking at that kind of world.
Interestingly enough, that song, What It Is, I wrote with a friend of mine 9 years ago. That was before I fell pregnant, and I started feeling a great sense of shift in people perceptions, and you could see back then that technology was really moving so fast, but we weren't moving as fast with it. So it talks about the fact that I think we've lost a lot of connection with conversation, communication, dialogue, exchanging ideas, just doing all those things, and we're just all so engrossed in our little machines, and we allow technology to run our lives. And it's an incredibly unhealthy notion for me.
And you're thinking about that as a mum too, and the kind of world your son's growing up into.
Well, you know, my son, if I ever have any problems on the computer, I'll go to him and he'll fix it in 2 seconds. But, you know, so, I mean, and they're just natural with it. It's great. However, it's important that I instill in him that it is a tool, but that's about it. And to put it in its proper box.
Another great song on the album with a very personal story for you is Destination Unknown. Tell us a little about that.
Destination Unknown was a song that I wrote about my grandmother after I had found out that she was an orphan and an adopted out when I took part in the Who Do You Think You Are series and was lucky enough to go back to Sicily. It was a pretty tough realisation, but it also enabled me to understand my family and my mother's side a lot better, and it was my gift to her.
It's a beautiful gift. The writing of the book, did you find it a very emotional process? Because obviously you're digging over your life and things that have gone wrong and things that have gone right. Yeah. And you must go, oh, I'm going to share this with everybody.
Yeah, well, you know, it's life is full of ups and downs, and I think that the most important thing is to acknowledge those ups and those downs, and to celebrate them, because they fundamentally make you who you are.
You've been very fortunate to find a second home in France, but in the last year or two you spent a lot of time here. And how has it been coming back to Australia and showing your family an Australian life and a normal way of living in Australia? How's that?
Well, it's been great. It's been very important. It's important to come home. I've been away for 20 years, in and out, and there comes a time where you've got to come home. You have to reconnect and with your family and the story and where it all started from. So that's why for me this record was important, to bring it back home where my story started.
What do you think of the pop world you see today? I know we've got, there's always been TV talent shows. You were on one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people are still on them, and people are looking for a break. But something fundamentally has changed in that people are thinking about fame rather than substance a little bit more. Do you think that's happening in a new generation?
Well, yes. It's an unfortunate reality of the new generation. They are seduced by a fantasy. And that's unfortunately very disappointing for someone like myself who sees it and everybody wants to be like somebody else and forgets who they are. We're ultimately all very interesting, I think. It just depends on how we see each other. But we do, the new generation does spend a lot of time wanting to be somebody else. So part of my job is to perhaps educate them and say, well, that somebody else may be interesting, but you're just as interesting, and it's up to you to create whatever path you want to create, and you want to do it for the right reasons, not just because you see somebody on TV and you think that that is what life is supposed to be. It is an occupation. Don't forget that. You work, you're a journalist, there are ladies and gentlemen here that go to work and have an occupation. My occupation is I entertain. That's it. That's my 9 to 5 gig.
Sometimes longer than 9 to 5.
Well, bloody hell, I wish it was 9 to 5, but you know.
You're owed some overtime.
Who's going to pay me that? You run out of questions.
No, I have not run out of questions. I could go for another hour. I'm just trying to think of the best ones. You've had a great relationship with TV over the years. You've enjoyed that, and you're having another great run with it now and having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I am. I'm having an absolute hoot of a time. That's not to say that I'm not dying physically, but, you know, I've got sore shoulders and, you know, pelvises and things that are out and in. But, hey, I'm having a good laugh. The Australian audiences seem to be enjoying it, and that, for me, is ultimately the most important thing. Whilst I sit there and I try and learn to dance, we know that Australians are tuning in every Tuesday night and loving watching us out of our comfort zone. It's really good fun, and it's wonderful to dance. It's the most beautiful thing that you can do.
You've been mentored by some great people over the years from your early years, and I guess it's our job sometimes to mentor the next generation. Any bit of advice that you'd like to give to young people considering a career in entertainment?
Yeah, don't think about celebrity, think about the craft. That's the only thing I can say to them. Just don't be wanting to be the next Miley Cyrus or whoever, God bless her heart. But, you know, think about being you and what it is that you want to do and that you want to say and you want to be. The impact you want to have. Make a healthy contribution, I say.
Well, you've been doing it for a long time, Tina. You're still doing it. Congratulations on a beautiful album. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming down to chat to us. Tina's doing some signing.